to my Keystone. My topic is the Argentine tango with a product focus. So I've been dancing for 7 years, doing formal dancing, but unfortunately had to quit a few years ago. I always wanted to start again, but never really found the time or partner to dance with. When Keystone time came along, I started thinking about a possible topic and dancing came to my mind. I began going through all the genres of dance I've done, and the Argentine tango really struck me. I had never done it before and had always been fascinated when I saw performances in movies or TV. And so I decided to focus my year on learning how to dance the Argentine tango. The tango originated in Buenos Aires. In the 1800s, immigrants from Europe and Africa were streaming to the outskirts of Argentina to find work. The Argentinian government advertised for workers to come and work there. Many of the immigrants were men, and the men ended up staying in Argentina instead of going back home. However, there weren't enough women there for all the men to settle down with. The brothels were a major place of entertainment for the working class, and dancing became a popular way to entertain. This is where the tango comes in. The tango really grew from the desire to feel close to somebody. And at the time, the only two ways to get close to a woman was dancing or prostitution. And the tango originally was the acting out between a pimp and prostitute. And so these brothels developed this own special culture within themselves in the underbelly of society. Musicians would come in and play live music, and the men would just dance with the women there. An interesting fact is, as you can see from the picture, some of the men would even dance together in order to practice and make sure they can please the woman when they were dancing. At the time, it was more important for the woman to enjoy her experience dancing with the man, rather than for the man to be the best dancer in the brothel or to have the best technique. In 1955, with the new military government in Argentina, the tango was launched into its dark ages. There was economic depression and a lot of political issues circling around in the middle, in the working class. The president at the time, Juan Perón, was also accused of using tango artists as part of his political campaigns and for other political purposes. Since most of the members of the government were upper class, they did not understand or accept the culture of the tango. They saw it as alien, dirty, and obscene. The tango was almost nearly banned from being danced. Many of the lyrics in the songs and some songs themselves were banned. So between 1955 and 1983, nobody learned how to dance the tango. In 1983, as the political situation began to change in Argentina, so did the culture of the tango. All of a sudden, there was a desire to start dancing again. People began to invent new styles, and this age, the late 1900s, was really dominated by a lot of complex steps and embellishments because people were trying to recreate the golden ages. And so new styles were invented, new music was introduced, and the tango became overall a lot more widespread. The music of the tango plays a really key role in setting up the mood, environment, and flow of the dance. The music originally grew from a combination of folk, African, Italian, Polish, and British melodies. A key instrument in tango music is the bandoneon. The bandoneon is a square wooden box with a small reed organ inside, operated by rows of buttons. Each button can sound up to 2 notes, one with air flowing in and the other with air flowing out. The bandoneon really gave the tango its definitive sound. It became a lot more serious, temperamental, and rhythmic. And the music really it sets the mood and allows the dancers to explore how they should dance, what kind of movement they should incorporate. And my song for my performance is actually an excellent example of the different variations and facets that tango music can have. In tango music, there is always a dominant rhythm intertwined with other subordinate melodies or phrases. Each phrase can express a different emotion, like happiness, passion, melancholy, or romance. In order to be able to really dance to the music, dancing the tango really requires true connection with your partner. The tango is an intimate and emotional experience. It really is learning to be one with another person. It is also an elegant and powerful language. Like any language, the tango has its own language, own alphabet, grammar, and composition. Arms, legs, feet, hands, shoulders are all part of the tango alphabet. Since there are few steps that are actually essential to dancing the tango, learning to use the body is really the core. When two partners are able to speak the same language, it ensures that the movement is fluid, passionate, and silky. Only then can the two partners enter this visceral and outer-worldly experience where they're invested and focused on the dance and on each other, and not minding any external factors that may be going around. The tango really is an emotion that is danced. It is as much a dance of the heart as of the body. In order to ensure that the dance is passionate, fluid, and silky, there needs to be really strong communication and harmony between the two partners. The two partners each have separate roles. That is how such a relationship can be formed. The leader needs to initiate the dance, stay alert, and communicate his or her embrace to his or her partner. The follower is there to follow what the leader communicates to him or her. There is a physical awareness and a mutual understanding between the partners. The Argentine tango is also strongly based on the idea that men and women are interdependent, that masculinity and femininity can work together and not have a power imbalance. Men and women play different roles in a tango. This dance really shows that two sexes can form a harmonious relationship. My process for this Keystone started first with research. I found a studio nearby that I could take lessons from. While I was taking lessons, I began researching the history, music, and some of the main themes of the tango as I presented earlier. During my lessons, I learned a lot of the basic step, a lot of the variations of the basic step, and a lot of important techniques. And I was really able to see how all the themes I learned about were able to be implemented in the tango. After I took a good amount of lessons and felt confident enough in my abilities to dance and just in my overall understanding of the tango, I began the process of constructing my routine. I had my wonderful partner Gerard, who is here today to perform with me later, to help me out in this process. My original idea for the routine just came to me in a spark, even before I was set on this Keystone topic. I had a storyline in mind. I had the way everything should look in mind, and it was really exciting to finally be able to turn it into reality with rehearsals. We rehearsed long and hard, both in classes, out of classes, and we're finally really able to bring my original idea to life, and that made me really excited. While I was taking lessons, I also volunteered with the Queen Ada Western Addition Senior Home. I taught the seniors there how to dance. I showed them some of the basic steps, some very basic techniques, and just talked to them about the tango. It was really great to see how happy they felt to be dancing and just learning this new social dance form and be able to spend some time with members of their community in a different way. I also offered a Keystone workshop here at school and taught some of you all how to dance. I also showed the basic steps, some very basic technique, and just talked about the tango to you all. Both of these teaching experiences were really learning experiences for me. I myself was able to see how well I could dance the tango, how well I understood the tango, and how I chose to present the tango to others. I was in control of what technique I decided to show. Do I want to show the tango in this light, or should I show it in this light? And it was also really great for me to see people enjoying dancing and learning and just spending time together learning a style that they probably have never heard of before or had never done. So this leads me to my next slide, which is where the tango is today. The tango still continues to triumph as a popular and social dance form. The tango holds a special culture within itself with events called milongas. Milongas are social dance events where people mingle and dance tango. Milongas also involve a repeated sequence of a change of partners and a constant partner invitation process. There is a whole rule book about how one is supposed to invite the woman, how one is supposed to act, and what cautions to take. An example of this could be, in milongas there is a traditional head nod invitation. So say a man is at a milonga. He sees a woman across the room with whom he would like to dance with. Once he catches her eye, he may offer that traditional head nod. If she responds with a head nod, it indicates to him that she has accepted his invitation. However, it is still advised that the man should come up to the woman and ask her to dance in person to make sure that it was to him she was nodding and that she actually wants to dance. After she accepts, they dance, I believe, a set of 4 songs. After the songs are over, they should thank each other and move on. Of course, the man may choose to invite the woman again, but he should be cautious that the woman may have come to the milonga originally with a partner, a significant other, or anything else, and should not cause any jealousy or any misunderstanding. And usually the last song of milonga is danced with the person you originally came with. So these are just a few examples of the type of etiquette that happens at milongas. However, it is still a really fun event that people really enjoy and socialize. They get to meet new people who are just as invested and interested in this social dance form. And people today, they dance the tango, some for the movement, some for the beautiful music, and some just for the satisfaction of this relationship. The connection and silent conversation that 2 partners, even strangers, who I've never met before at milonga can have, is really what makes the tango so special and draws people together. So now I have a few words from my wonderful teacher about what tango means to her and why she continues to dance tango herself.
So I dance because it's something that I've always done since I was a child, but it's also, to me, it's an expression. It's necessary. It's like air and water. It's part of life. It's everything I want to be and everything that I do. I think that it's a way to not just express yourself, but a way to let go and to lose yourself in music or something bigger than yourself.
Just very short and sweet. And now, it's showtime. Gerard and I will be performing our Argentine tango routine. So I hope you all enjoy the performance and thank you very
So I'm a little confused. Is like every tango the same, or is it just like improv on the spot?
No, no tango is ever the same. So we had a constructed routine because it was a set performance, but at a milonga, the man is the leader. So he decides where the dance will go and the woman is there to follow. So that's why establishing this really clear connection and for the man to really communicate his embrace and his movement to her, that's why it's so important.
Do you have any role models for tango that you sort of look to over the year?
I think my biggest role model was my teacher. I just worked so closely with her and she was so open to my whole idea and she really, I want to give a big thank you to her for really constructing this routine the way I imagined it. And before, I had no idea how to dance the tango, but everything just fits so well. So just a big thank you to her. Yeah.
How is learning the tango different from learning another type of dance?
I think there's just less structure. Oh, there is, but during the classes, for example, the teacher would teach us a set of steps, and then she would turn on the music and say, okay, so to the men especially, lead the woman anywhere you want, do any step you want, and we're there to follow. So I think that element is different as opposed to ballroom dancing, where even the framework is completely different. You're just set in stone of where you are, and you have to dance the whole way through. But here, it could go any way. Yeah.
When two people are sort of freestyle tango dancing, how does the leader prompt their partner to make the next move? Like, how do they know what to do? Is there a sort of gesture or signal to give, or is it just?
Yeah. So he communicates through his frame. So, for example, I had a moment where I was dancing with somebody at the studio, and, for example, a certain movement of the shoulder tells me that, oh, I need to go here. But he actually meant a different step, and because he did this sort of movement, I assumed it's this step, if you get what I mean. They're just the way the movement of the arms and the shoulders, the woman can tell which direction the man wants her to go. Does he want her to go back, forward, side? It's just, you know, the slight movement that is needed. Yeah.
What do you love about dancing?
First, I just love the idea of just getting up and doing something physical. I love the community. I met a lot of great friends. When I first started dancing, I think that was a really big thing. And just being able to shut off from talking and just be able to really be in the moment and focus on something else. Because we focus so much on talking to everybody, what we say, how we speak, but here none of that is needed. Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge that you encountered in your process?
I think constructing the routine. First, finding the song, it was difficult. My teacher opened up her computer and said, which one do you want? And I had no idea. And I was worried about everything coming together. And also a challenging part is knowing that I would have somebody to dance with. But thank you, Gerard. Otherwise, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to dance today. So that was definitely the most challenging, but everything worked out. Yeah?
Me?
Yeah.
I was just really good job, but I was just wondering, like, when you started choreographing this exact dance.
We started late March, maybe? Trisha.
Were there any types of dance that you want to do in the future that you haven't learned yet?
Maybe some swing. I've never done that. Maybe do some more salsa. I've only done maybe one lesson of salsa. I know, cool. Paige?
Can you talk about the storyline, choreography, and sort of how that comes in?
So like I said, it just came to me. Like actually, I had no more to explain. I was choosing my topic and I had this vision. I think this is a common theme. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before, and I really wanted to do it. I didn't want to just do a simple routine, but I really wanted to create a storyline. And I think this also goes back to me being a theater kid. I wanted to make it as big and as grand as I could. And after I got the idea, I really worked hard to find the music that would work. Like I started out with a different song, and I didn't like it at all. Then I found this song, and this fits so well. I just slowly found the right props. My teacher helped construct the routine, and it just all worked, and we worked together. There were some moves that I said, I don't want this. I want it to be more dramatic. I want it to be in this theme. And she's like, yes, of course, we can do this, we can do that. Yeah, Jake?
So how did you go about meeting your partner, and how did you choose to work with each other?
Yeah, so Gerard was in the studio before me, and we were taking the same classes, and we were dancing together a lot. In the studio, we changed partners, but we just worked well together, and I just came up to him and asked, do you want to help me with my project? And he was really all in. Yeah. David?
So I understand that you worked really, really hard on choreographing this dance, but is there like a clear emotional divide between like when you go to Milonga, what's it called? Milonga. And like improv the dance, or if you're following a set timeline, like do you feel like, is it more emotional when you're doing it improv, like doing improvisational tango, or is it similar either way?
I don't know, for me, this feels more emotional, because improv, at least at the level I was, because I'm still working on my tango, it felt a bit all over the place. I was also trying to figure out what my partner was doing. Is he doing this step or that? How well I can do the steps. And it's just a learning process. I'm sure if I continue, it will get a lot smoother and better. Yeah.
In tango culture or ballroom culture in general, are there any people who are kind of challenging the patriarchy? Are there any women who want to lead, or women who dance with women, or men who dance with men? Is this a thing, or is it just not a factor in tango culture?
It is a thing. There is queer tango where the roles are reversed, or there are no roles. So a woman can freely lead a man, and men can dance together, women can dance together. Even at my studio, I was a leader for a day. It was fine. One time we had less men and more women. A woman was leading, and it's absolutely fine. I also read an article where 2 women were at a milonga. I believe there was just straight women. And there weren't enough partners, so they were like, let's dance. They decided who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the follower, and they just danced, and it's absolutely accepted, and you're free to do that.
Could you talk a little bit more about how Juan Perón used the tango? You kind of just brushed on that, but that sounds very interesting.
I didn't look too far into it, because I was more focused on my dance, but I just wanted to give some history, but I didn't research far. Yes?
On the theme of like switching partners, switching roles, how hard is it to switch between leader and follower?
A little bit difficult because, for example, when I was leader for a day, I had to learn the leader's steps. It feels strange, but it worked. And also at my volunteering, I was the man most of the time because there were mainly women at my volunteer center who took the class, and so I had to lead them. It felt fine. It just depends on the person.
I'll take one more question.
Okay, yeah.
How long have you been dancing, and when and how did you learn about the Argentinian way of dancing?
So I've been doing ballroom dancing for 7 years. I quit a few years ago, and I started Argentine tango in November.
But how did you learn about it?
Oh, I think my first exposure to Argentine tango was on So You Think You Can Dance. I'm sure some of you have heard that show. I saw it perform there, and I was just mesmerized. I was like, wow, I want to do that one day. And that's how I came. Because my original ballroom dance studio did not offer Argentine tango lessons. It's a less traditional style. So I never heard of it before. But So You Think You Can Dance introduced me to it.
Thank you so much.